Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome to Growing Through It, a podcast dedicated to bringing you clarity so that you can harness your curiosity and be the creator of your life. Hosted by me, Shanae Rowe. Hello, all of you gorgeous people. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're returning, thank you. I appreciate you coming back. It must mean you like it or something. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you, and I hope you find some valuable information or you just enjoy listening to the podcast from here on out. So welcome. Thank you for being here. I love you all. Let's jump into today's episode. It's another one I'm really excited about, and it's all about values versus preferences. And I'm going to say it now. The key to living your most delicious, amazing life is to follow your values. It's to live according to your values, not what you want, and not what you like, and not what you prefer. I've said it now, okay? And if you're a little bit confused by that, if you're like, I don't know if I believe that completely, or I don't understand what you're getting at with that. What do you mean I don't live my life based on what I want and what I prefer? Like, what do you mean? But please don't worry, don't stress. I'm going to explain all of it to you so that by the end of this episode, you're going to be like, oh, I understand. And I get it now, and I'm going to start living my life according to my values. I'm going to follow my values and not the things that I prefer in my life. So get excited and let's jump into the episode. First up, another bold thing I'm going to say is your expectations are going to leave you drained and disappointed. They will. Your expectations about things that you want to achieve, how you want your life to look, your preferences about what you like and what you don't like, and all of that, expectations, preferences, it's going to leave you disappointed. It's going to leave you feeling inadequate and like you're not enough. And what I mean by that is expectations and preferences generally have a story about how we expect our lives to go. And a story tends to be related to an age, a timeline, achieving some physical thing. It can be something that you've created and told yourself that, by 28, I want to be married. I want to be married by 28. And then you backtrack from there. You go, that means that I want to be engaged for maybe a year or so. So I want to be engaged by 27 at the latest, so maybe 26. But I want to know the person for a couple years. So I really want to be with the love of my life by maybe 23. And that is this story that you've created inside of your mind, this expectation that you hold about how your life is going to look. So you want to achieve that expectation. You want to achieve that goal that you've created, how you want your life to look, and you attach yourself and your worth onto fulfilling that goal. It can also look like other things, can be related to jobs or, places you want to live, things you want to do. By 30, I want to have a Lamborghini and I want to be rich and I want to have $1 million. Or I want to start my own business by 25. I want to have a PhD by the time I'm 28. I want to be well-traveled. I want to have gone to every country in the entire world by the time I'm 50. And we have all of these expectations and preferences, how we want our life to go, what we want to achieve, what we hope to do with ourselves. And I'm not saying don't have goals, but you might find that you tie your self-worth onto these goals that you have, onto these expectations about how you want your life to look. I think when we attach ourselves onto these ideas that we've created, onto this beautiful story that we have conjured up for ourselves, that can lead to a lot of suffering. Because life generally doesn't go how we want it to go, especially when we come up with these big picture things we want to achieve. Especially when it's physical things that we hope to gain, starting a business, having a well-paying job, getting married by this age, having a kid by this age, having a beautiful family. I'm not saying don't strive towards those things, but I think the issue comes when we put too much of our time and energy into trying to get these things. when all we have our focus on is achieving this goal. It's doing this thing, getting this degree, buying this house, marrying this person. And so that takes up all of our focus. We are just tunnel visioned in on doing this thing of being successful, of having enough money, or having fancy things, having a beautiful family. We want these things, we're honed in on it, we're going and getting it. But life doesn't really go to plan a lot of the time. And when we attach ourselves to these external things of what we want, it can lead to a lot of suffering. Because when we don't get what we want, we experience a lot of pain. And I think if we try and create our life to the T too much of what physical things we want to get out of it, we can, without realizing, reaffirm dysfunctional beliefs that we have about ourselves. You know, if you really wanted to have a successful business by the time you're 25 and you get to 25 and you're not even anywhere near having that thing, then it can reaffirm in your mind some belief that you've held your whole life about, this means I'm a failure. I haven't got a business. I haven't got a successful business. I haven't even got a business at all. I'm 25. I wanted this. I haven't got it. I'm a failure. It's reaffirming that belief that you've carried with you your whole life. Another classic example of this is about love. You could be in a long-term serious relationship and you're 31 now and it just falls apart. You realize you don't want to be with this person and you're 31 and you're not married and you don't have any kids. And you thought when you were younger that you would be married and you would have a family, a beautiful family by the time you're 28. And you're 31 and your long-term relationship just finished. And that can reaffirm your belief that maybe you're unlovable. Maybe you don't deserve love. Maybe you'll never find love. So when we live too attached to creating something physical in our life, to a desired outcome, then we create this loop of suffering for ourselves because we are reaffirming, we're embedding these beliefs that we've held about ourselves our whole life, that we're worthless, we're a failure, that we're not enough, that we're unlovable. We're reaffirming all of these things, and that leads to our suffering. That makes us think that there's something wrong with us, when there's not. Life just didn't go how you wanted it to, and that's okay. That's life. And I think it's so important that we don't attach our worth onto our achievements, onto physical things, onto desired outcomes. You can have goals for sure, but don't set them in stone. Don't make them the be-all and end-all of your life. If you put too much time and energy into getting something, into having something, into achieving something, then you are going to be so disappointed and so heartbroken when it doesn't go exactly as you plan. Keep it vague, keep it broad, but don't box yourself in to living your life in a certain way because it's going to be good for you. You think it's going to be good for you because a lot of the time it's not. A lot of the time we actually don't know what we need and what we deserve because of all of these dysfunctional beliefs that we have, these limiting beliefs that we develop in childhood and carry through to our adult life. We create all these stories in our mind based off of what we wanted and deserved as a kid. And we carry these stories with us and we hope to meet our needs by creating these stories and obtaining these scenarios and things and achievements. But then when we don't, or when we don't to the highest possible extent, we feel some kind of way, whether that's a failure or worthless or unlovable. We just feel disappointed in ourselves. And I think another thing that happens when we try and live according to our preferences, according to what we want, what we hope to get, then it really shuts us off to greater things happening for us. When, like I said, we've got our tunnel vision on, we're doing this thing, we're achieving this, we're getting married by this age, it closes us off to so many other opportunities, to so many other amazing, spectacular things that are right in front of us. We're not aware of because we're looking over the top of it to get to where we want to go. We take the beauty away from the journey of our lives because we are set on our end goal. We're set on this happening, or we're set on getting this car, getting this job, getting this degree, getting this relationship, and we don't even see that there's beautiful things in front of us. There's friendships in front of us. We're seeking a relationship, but we totally overlook all the beautiful friendships that are right in front of us that we can build and create to feel loved and to feel accepted and that we belong to a tribe. We have our eyes set on creating this amazing business or getting this dream job, and we overlook all these beautiful opportunities to give back to people, to go and volunteer for nonprofits and contribute in that way, because we're just too focused on our own personal gain in that sense. There's so many instances like that where we have these expectations, we have these preferences, we have these likes, and we want our lives to go according to those things, according to that plan, according to the story that we've created in our mind, instead of working backwards and thinking about what our values are, who we are, and then creating our life according to that. I think life is so much more than what we like and what we prefer and what we hope to achieve and what we expect from ourselves and what we expect from others. Life is so much more than that. Life actually happens in the moments between our expectations and where we are. Life doesn't happen when we achieve our expectations. So follow your values. And what do I mean by that? What are values? And I like to think of values as fundamental beliefs that guide and motivate us. They guide us to the things that are right for us. Instead of having an idea of what we hope our life to look like and then jumping to there and hoping that we feel good, it's actually starting from ourselves. We start within. What do we need out of our lives, value-wise, in order to feel content and happy? And how can I go about seeking out those values in my everyday life so that I feel motivated to create a beautiful time, so that I can cherish all these moments here on earth? I think our values are also responsible for encouraging our attitude and motivating our actions. So if you think about some values like that, can be kindness or compassion, can be gratitude, it can be wealth. You can have one of your core values is to seek out wisdom or always tell the truth. It can be respect, giving and receiving respect in however you define respect to be. It can be one of your core values can be that you need to be of service to someone or the world. You need to feel like you are contributing to society in some way, being that person that provides. You can have the value of humor or love. And I think once you identify those values within yourself, the things that make you feel the most alive, that really helps to shape your attitude about certain situations and challenges that you find yourself in. You know, when things don't work out how you envision it to be, you're able to take a step back and think, well, this isn't what I had hoped for. This isn't what I expected. But what is the underlying value here? Is this satisfying one of my core values? This may not be what I wanted, but is it still serving me in a way that aligns with me and my truth and my sense of purpose to the world? And if yes, that drives our action. That makes us want to continue taking a step forward in that direction instead of thinking, oh, wow, I've failed. I haven't got this dream job. That makes me a failure and I'm just going to give up. You know, maybe you can think about it in a different light. Think about it in a different way. I didn't get this job promotion, but there are other jobs that actually might be more aligned to me. This business has more of a stronger foundation of community and sportsmanship, and they're values that I really stand by and want to create in my life. So maybe not getting this job is a blessing, and what I should really do is apply for this job working at this company because it seems to be a better fit for me. And at the end of the day, I think that values drive our decisions, they drive our behaviors, and they drive our emotional response to things. You want to always be thinking about the things that are true to you. How do you want to show up in the world? What do you want to invite into your life? And then make decisions based on that. Behave in ways that align with that. If you want to create a life that is full of love and connection and support with people, then you need to show up in that way. Your behavior needs to reflect that core value that you have, that core value of love. If you love to have a laugh and you love making people laugh and you love, having people make you laugh, your core value is probably a sense of humor. You want humor to be a core part of your life. So act in ways, change your behavior to invite more of that into your life. Values drive the life that we choose to live. Values do. Not our expectations, not what we like, not what we hope to achieve, but the values behind what we want. The values behind our imagination. You want to go and live on a tropical island. That's amazing. That's an expectation, that's a preference, but what are the values behind that? Maybe you want freedom, peace, isolation. Think about the values behind the things that motivate you, behind the goals that you want to achieve, and live according to those so that you don't box yourself in, so that you don't put all of this pressure on yourself to achieve physical things, but rather let life guide you to where you need to go based on these core beliefs that you have, based on your values. So how do we do that? How do we live according to our values and not our preferences? And the first thing I want you guys to do is to focus on feeling how your life feels rather than how it looks. Because preferences and expectations are usually attached to something physical, how you want someone to perceive you or your life, how you want to portray yourself in the physical world. And it has a lot to do with how things look. Okay? Your achievements that you can showcase, this car that you can show people, this beautiful family that you can show off to the world. So take yourself out of the mindset of how things are supposed to look and start thinking about how you want your life to feel, how you want to feel while you're living your life. You can have this goal of having an amazing family, but don't put all of your focus on what that looks like. Actually try and unpack what you want to feel when you have that family. Do you want to feel deeply connected to them? Do you want to be vulnerable with them? Do you want to create a safe space for your partner and your children to grow up in? How do you want to feel in that desired outcome rather than how do you want it to look? Because looks can only take you so far, okay? And if you're so focused on the visual aspect of things, you're going to disregard how you're going to feel while doing it. And if you focus too much on how things are going to look, then you forget about the more important thing, which is how you're going to feel. And if it's even what you want, if you put all of this energy into creating something beautiful, it looks good, and people are like, oh, wow, she's got it all. And then you get there and you're like, actually, I'm not satisfied. This feels like shit. I don't feel like myself in this desired outcome. Then you've kind of messed up a little bit and you've put too much of your focus on looking versus feeling. The second thing that you can do is understand yourself. Understand the people, the places, the environments, the settings that make you feel good. You want to get to the bottom of you so that you actually know what your values are, because people don't have the same values. People don't want the same things. Maybe on a broad level of society, we want to feel like we belong. Like there's a few core values that we all possess because we are human. But a lot of the time, our values do differ between people. I might really want to feel like I am contributing and I am of service to people, and someone else might not want that at all. That might not be a core value for them, and that's fine. But you need to understand yourself and the things that drive you, the things that make you feel satisfied, the things that make you feel happy, the things that bring you joy. Understand what they are so that you can unpack what the values are behind those things. Maybe that is you really feel alive when you have an in-depth, super vulnerable conversation with someone. One of your values might be authenticity and being surrounded by people who have that same value of authenticity, of showing up as themselves, being themselves. You might really love traveling and going and exploring new places and getting out of your comfort zone and seeing new things and experiencing new cultures and all that kind of stuff might be really exciting for you. And so one of your core beliefs might be adventure. You want to go and travel and see new places. But not everyone is adventurous, and that's okay. Maybe you find a lot of contentment and joy and passion when you're exercising, when you're going on runs, when you're encouraging people to get fit and stay healthy and eat the right foods. So a value in that might be health. You're really conscious of being healthy, of eating well, of doing well for your body physically. Just little things like this where you're seeking out experiences that make you feel happy, and then you're unpacking what the value is behind why that makes you happy, why that makes you feel good. Same with people. We're drawn to certain people for whatever reason, and if you unpack the commonalities in all of the people that you're drawn towards, you will find a similar value there, whether that is respect or whether that is curiosity or whether that is you're really both interested in being vulnerable or having jokes and having a laugh. Like, there is a value that drives every experience that makes you feel fulfilled. So think about what fills your cup, go and do things that fill your cup, and then unpack the value behind that. The fourth thing, and the best thing, is seek out more of those moments, create more of those moments that are aligned to your values. Once you know the values that drive your decisions and your behaviors and, that allow you to live a really happy and joyful and playful life, seek out more of that. You love adventure? Go on a holiday. Go and backpack Asia. You have a strong sense of community? Start up a community space in your area. Start up a meet and greet in your area, right? Go and do things together to build that sense of community. Go and create those moments that align with your values rather than thinking 10 years ahead and, this is what I hope to achieve. Just do one small thing in front of you. One small thing that satisfies that value, that satisfies that need that you have. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to have some physical, attainable goal that you can show for yourself. That means that you're worthy and that you've proved yourself and that you're not a failure. Seek out the tiny moments that really align to you and your truth and your values rather than putting all this pressure on yourself to have something to show for yourself 5 years from now, to make you feel worthy or that you're enough or that you're a lovable person. I'm going to achieve this thing in 5 years and that's going to make me feel worthy and desirable. Don't think about it like that. Just do one small thing that is aligned with your value right now. And then keep creating from that space of aligning to your values. Seek it out and create it. Create those moments. You don't have to have some big picture goal to work towards. You can create something now. And then the fifth thing to be doing is just always check in with yourself. When you are making choices, when you are working towards goals, ask yourself, is this goal an expectation? Am I putting too much of my focus and my self-worth on achieving this thing? Or does it really align with my core fundamental beliefs? Does it align with my purpose, my sense of why? Is this choice for me, or is it for external validation? Or am I just doing it hoping that people are going to love me? People are going to see me as a wonderful person. Check in with yourself, be honest with yourself, and you're allowed to realize that maybe you're making decisions that aren't really you and that aren't true to you, and that you are doing it in hopes to like reaffirm some deep-seated emotional wound that you've got. Be honest with yourself, and if stuff like that does come up, then pivot, change, make a new goal that actually does align with who you are and what you want. Something that I have learned is that your outcomes don't have actions. Your actions have outcomes. It's not beneficial for you to place all of your worth and all of your time and energy onto a big picture thing, onto this goal. And then, oh, what can I do to get there? Like, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do that. And everything else that comes along is just irrelevant. I'm going to push it out the way because it doesn't matter. Your actions have outcomes. The small things that you do in your day-to-day life, the small decisions that you make, because it comes from a place of understanding yourself and loving yourself, leads to greater outcomes, leads to actually creating things in your life that are true to you and that are for you. And you open up the world for opportunities to come into your life. You're inviting things in because the small choices that you make have an impact on you in a year from now, in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now. It shouldn't be the other way around, okay? Because if you attach yourself onto an outcome and then plan out everything that you've got to do to get you there, then you're limiting yourself. You're limiting your capacity to grow as a person. You're closing yourself off from changing, from doing something differently, from realizing that you like other things and that maybe you don't want to work towards this goal. Whereas if you just do little things, make this choice, get up to watch the sunrise because you love seeing nature, you love being in nature, you love connecting to nature. So many more beautiful things come from that. You're able to grow as a person because you're letting yourself flow with your values. And I think what we want to do is reframe our perception of our expectations. We want to accept and embrace the uncertainties of life more willingly. And we want to get taken on the journey. We want to ride the waves of life rather than being so fixed and rigid in what we hope to achieve. Let life take you on its journey. Ride the waves of the beauty of it all. And that's going to get you to some really incredible places that you haven't even imagined yet. You haven't even thought of yet. Purely because you are just letting the world guide you. You are letting your values guide you. And not your expectations. Not what you want. Not what you hope to get. It's you're letting who you are guide you as opposed to what you want. And I think that is the most delicious way to live. That is like how you fucking love your life. Is you let your values guide you. You let your truest self take you to where you need to go. All of these beautiful little opportunities and things come up and you just take it all and you're like, this is amazing. So my lovely listeners, that is all from me today. I hope you found something wonderful hidden amongst what I've said. Let me know what you think of this episode as well. Send me a message on Instagram. I love hearing from you guys. Share it around. Share it to your friends if you think it's something that they need to hear. Thank you once again for being here, for listening, for showing your support. The biggest way you can support me is to share my episodes around and also head over to YouTube and TikTok and check out the videos and show your love and support there by liking all the videos and things and leaving your beautiful comments. I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day, you've had a wonderful day, you're about to have a wonderful, delicious day. That's all from me right now. Thank you for being here. The world is waiting for you though, so get on out there and enjoy your big, beautiful life. Bye!